It was a quiet Saturday evening when Kareem's family gathered to sort through his late grandfather's belongings. Cardboard boxes were stacked in the living room, filled with books, photographs, and the kind of small treasures only families save. Kareem sifted through an old box of books, the smell of aged paper rising like a memory. That's when he saw it. A folded, yellowed envelope tucked inside the cover of a worn Qur'an. The ink on the envelope was faint, but the handwriting was neat, flowing, deliberate. He opened it carefully. Inside was a single page, covered with lines of Arabic script. Kareem stared at it for a long moment. The letters looked like art, curves and dots, rising and falling like waves. But he couldn't read a single word. "What's that?" his mother asked, glancing over. "It's a letter. From Grandpa, I think." She peered at the page and shook her head. "Probably. He wrote a lot. But I can't read Arabic, you know that." His uncle shrugged. "Maybe take it to the imam. He can read it for you." But Kareem didn't move. He held the letter like it was something fragile. He didn't want someone else to tell him what it said. He wanted to know. That night, when everyone else was asleep, Kareem sat at his desk with the letter in front of him. He pulled up his laptop and searched, learn Arabic alphabet. A chart appeared. Aleph, Ba, Ta. He scribbled the shapes into a notebook. Some looked familiar from masjid calligraphy. Others looked like alien symbols. He compared them to the letter. Nothing made sense. Frustration bubbled in his chest. He even asked around, "Does anyone know Arabic?" Friends shook their heads or said, "Just get it translated online." But deep inside, Kareem didn't want Google Translate. He wanted to read it himself. How am I supposed to do this? He almost folded the letter back up, but then he remembered his grandfather's warm smile, the way he used to rest his hand on his shoulder when they walked to the masjid together. That memory kept him at the desk a little longer. The next day, he ordered a beginner Arabic workbook. A week later it arrived. He opened the first page, Aleph like a straight line, Ba with one dot below, Ta, two dots on top. He practiced every night. His papers filled with rows of letters, some neat, most messy. Sometimes he laughed at how his Ta looked like a triangle or his Jim looked like a fish. But slowly, the shapes stopped being strangers. He started noticing them in signs outside the masjid, in Quranic calligraphy hanging in his home. One evening, Kareem sat down with his grandfather's letter again. He matched the first symbol on the page. Yeah. The letter, yeah. His heart jumped. He could recognize it. "Yeah," he whispered, tracing it with his finger. It felt like unlocking the first piece of a puzzle. Months passed. Kareem joined a weekend Arabic class at the community center. The teacher, a gentle older man with glasses, encouraged him when he fumbled through sentences. "Every letter," the teacher said, tapping the whiteboard, "is a key. If you keep turning the keys, eventually the door will open." But Kareem wasn't always convinced. Some nights he wanted to give up. The letters changed shapes depending on where they sat in the word. The grammar felt endless. He'd slam his pen down in frustration. "I'm too old. I'll never get this." But then, one night in prayer, the imam recited a verse, and Kareem caught a word. Just one word. Rama, mercy. He froze. He understood something. Just a glimpse, but enough to make his eyes water. That tiny victory lit a fire inside him. After nearly a year, Kareem's reading had slowed but steadied. He no longer traced every letter painfully. He could sound things out, halting but clear. One rainy evening, he sat at his desk again, the letter laid out before him. He inhaled deeply and began. "Ibni, my son." His chest tightened. He read the next line, slowly. Words of advice, reminders about patience, about holding on to prayer. The ink blurred as his tears filled his eyes. He wiped them quickly, forcing himself to keep going. Toward the end, the words formed into a supplication. His grandfather had written, "I ask Allah to guide you, to give you knowledge, and to bring you close to the Qur'an." Kareem set the paper down and covered his face with his hands. The room felt heavy and light all at once. It hit him. His grandfather's supplication was being answered through his own journey. From then on, Kareem didn't study Arabic just to read the letter. He studied because it had become his key to something greater, the Qur'an, dua, the words of his faith. Weeks later, he sat with his little cousin, showing him the alphabet. "This is Aleph," Kareem said, smiling as the boy repeated after him. And on Kareem's desk, folded neatly back into its envelope, the letter rested. Not forgotten, not translated by someone else. Understood, cherished, alive. Kareem had thought he inherited a letter. In truth, he inherited a legacy and the language that carried it. The lesson we learn from this story is personal motivation fuels persistence. Kareem didn't just want to learn a language. He had a why, a letter tied to his family and faith. That emotional reason gave him the strength to keep going even when learning felt overwhelming. Small victories matter. The joy of recognizing even one word, Rama, gave him hope to continue. Progress in Arabic is built step by step. Patience opens doors. Like Kareem's teacher said, each letter is a key. With consistency, the locked door eventually opens. Big achievements are really the result of many small, steady efforts. Knowledge transforms purpose. Kareem started just wanting to read one letter. By the end, he wasn't learning for the letter anymore. He was learning for Quran, for dua, and for passing on knowledge to the next generation. Learning Arabic is not about mastering pages of grammar or memorizing endless vocabulary lists. It's about unlocking something much deeper. Every letter you learn is like a key. At first, it feels small, maybe even useless, but one day those keys open doors you never imagined. A single word in prayer suddenly makes sense. A line of Quran speaks directly to your heart. A letter from the past comes alive. Kareem thought he was just trying to read his grandfather's words. But in the process, he discovered something bigger. Arabic is a bridge between generations, between your heart and your faith, between who you are now and who you're becoming. So, if you ever feel stuck or wonder if it's worth it, remember this. Your effort today might be the very answer to a supplication you don't even know has already been made for you. Keep going. The door will open,